Sunday evening. So in this video, I'm going to be reviewing another product, a device, a red laser device from the company Solex, a company located in Utah. It is a direct selling organization, or an MLM. They, in a way, are kind of like a hybrid. They have a lot of manufactured wellness equipment that nobody else has, and are now making that equipment and devices accessible to any of the Quantum Life advocates or distributors, members of the MLM organization, which I think is really cool. So there's a lot of really unique products currently, devices, technologies, that anybody can now have the opportunity to sell and represent, and or you can just be a regular customer as well if you want. But in this product review right here, this is on their Illuminator device. You can check my playlist on my channel, by the way, for Solex if you want to see the reviews of all of their other products. And if you wanted to join my team and get personal coaching consultation with me in this company, I do that, and my link is below in the description. Okay, so the Illuminator is unique in the photobiomodulation industry. Photobiomodulation is a term that means light. I'm going to show a little graphic for everybody. So if you don't know, different wavelengths of light, okay, right here, here's a wavelength, and showing that as you go to the right, it gets longer, more spaced out, okay. So right here in the middle, you see a little rainbow. That's obviously visible, all right. So some of these, this small band here is actually visible. All of these are invisible, obviously. And so what we're talking about today is a device that is handheld and rechargeable that has laser diodes, and they produce red, okay, red visible wavelength at 660 nanometers, okay, to be specific. That's nanometers is a way of measuring the length, okay, of the wave. Now the key thing is that these portions of the electromagnetic spectrum are bioactives in humans, all right? So that means that the body is adapted on a cellular level to actually utilize light for different metabolic processes. And it uses light internally in the body for different functions. And again, as far as adapting and evolving, the main exposure to red light, as well as other rays here, other portions of the electromagnetic spectrum, including infrared, et cetera, is through the sun. Okay, so the sun is very good for you, and based on how the body is adapted to the sun, we can also mimic some of those benefits and deliver it into specific areas of the tissue with producing different light spectra with different technologies. Okay, so scrolling down, visible light spectrum, we already talked about that. 660 is right over here, all right. And what do I want to say here? So, two important things to address. One is that most wavelengths of light, UV, blue, green, yellow, are unable to penetrate the body. Instead, they stay in the layers of the skin, in other words, on the surface, all right? And as you can see, though, in the analysis, and these studies have been done a long time ago, this is like, photobiomodulation has a couple thousand studies over like around 30 years now. So these kind of findings is like old news, so to say. But as you can see here, 600 to 650 nanometers. Remember, we're at 660 with the Illuminator device. So that delivers pretty good depth right there into tissues. This is more the infrared range. Infrared, by the way, is invisible. Okay. So there's other devices out there I deal with, from lasers that go upwards of $60,000 and all the way down, medical devices, things like that. There's also near-infrared LEDs, not just laser diodes, and those have slightly deeper depth of penetration right here, as you can see. One important thing, though, is that if you want to get the max benefits of red light laser, you really want to take the laser handheld and push it against the skin. If you were to hold it up here, even half an inch away or an inch away, especially if it's a lower power device like the Illuminator, you're going to lose a lot of power that's not going to go into tissues. It could be as much as 80% if it's a weaker device, possibly even more. It's real bad. So basically you have to put the diode, and then in the instructions here, they actually tell you to place the device against the skin and move slowly, okay? Using so you're going to basically use it over an area, glide it over that area, and you really kind of want to push the head of it here, where the lights are, into the body. And kind of the more you push into that area, obviously it depends. If you're treating something superficial, you don't like really need to push it that much, right? If it's like a superficial skin sort of thing or something like that. But if you're trying to get to anything that's like deeper in the dermis or below that, you want to kind of push it into the body a little bit to try to move some of the blood out of the way, long story short. So let's scroll down here. There's some really good summation, and you can pause this video, by the way, and just read this right now, because it's pretty good. Let me make it a little bit bigger here. But the key thing about red light, and there is some overlap with near infrared as well, or infrared wavelength, but it helps produce ATP, which is a complex chemical that is created by mitochondria in all of your cells. It's the molecular unit of currency, intracellular energy. All right. So when your cells have more energy, organs have more energy, you start anti-aging. You can do repair. So there's a lot of studies: reduce swelling, inflammation, joint health, collagen production, wound healing, tissue repair, sports performance, all kinds of stuff. All right. Anyways, there's that, and there's of course a ton more info out there. If you want to dig into more research, you can use ChatGPT on Microsoft Bing, and you can see again more research on low-level laser therapy, which is what an illuminator is, LLT. If you look up LLT on PubMed and other research sites, you'll find hundreds of studies, and it just talks about all the amazing benefits of red light. Now here's an interesting thing. Remember I said that this is a pretty unique device. In the area of red light lasers, which is what this is, most, first off, do not have 3 beams. Some have 2 beams, some have 1 beam. And there used to be a lot more red light lasers on the market like 20 plus years ago, when laser therapy, photobiomodulation essentially was kind of first starting. It's really more about like 25 plus years ago. And there was more options back then. Not many, but a few. And nowadays, actually, there's hardly any options. And let's look at the price point here together, because I'm going to show you something incredible. $295, okay? Some people might be thinking, oh, that's kind of pricey. Some people might be thinking, oh, that's a pretty good deal. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's actually the best deal currently available in the photobiomodulation laser category for a low-level laser device that is red, just to be very specific, okay, because there's a lot of different specs and different options and models and all kinds of stuff. But why am I on this page now? Arconia. Arconia Laser was one of the first like big red light laser companies. So they did some of the first studies on laser a long time ago. And they found all kinds of great stuff: accelerating tissue repair, enhanced cell metabolism, inflammation. They did a lot of stuff on like rheumatoid arthritis and all kinds of stuff. So here's their little device here. The reason I'm showing you is, by the way, this doesn't really work at all. Their fat loss laser, it's a funny backstory on what happened with that situation. But anyways, so let's click on this right here. They say lasers for pain, but it actually, red light lasers can be used for many different things, but commonly a lot of people were using them and treating them for musculoskeletal issues, joint issues, whatever. So believe it or not, they did kind of design these after the Star Trek devices. If you're thinking like, that looks super futuristic, it has a touch screen on it and all these amazing, cool little aesthetic design things. It makes the Illuminator look kind of silly. That is true. And if you want to get something that's real fancy looking like this, you can get it for the low price of $17,000 to $30,000. How does that sound? Can I take your credit card today? How will you be making payments, sir? So I'm not joking. I'm actually being serious. Look at that, 22 total FDA clearances. That's actually quite impressive. That's really expensive to get all those, and it's a pain in the ass. However, at the end of the day, if you're just trying to get results, like for your nag or whatever the heck they're treating here, do you need those FDA clearances, Mr. User, Mrs. User? No, you don't. Okay, a laser works regardless of whether you got that or not. But because they got these clearances, they feel justified in grossly ripping everybody off. I'm not kidding about that price, by the way. So there's practitioners, health practitioners, buying these every day, every week, every month, and this company has made millions and billions of dollars. So $295 for an illuminator, not bad. So you might be wondering, like, well, I don't know, is it like comparable to the Zirconia? You know, there must be something special about it. Well, I am here to say this is how you do a spec to spec comparison. Okay, so all right, intensity of the laser settings for the illuminator. Intensity level 1, that's one setting. 20, this is 20 milliwatts, that's what that stands for. You know, like watts, like a light bulb, like 50 watt, I've got a 50 watt light bulb, right? Okay, well, that is similar. It's a way of measuring the intensity of irradiance or power density. So you have different settings here for a maximum of 180 milliwatts. Okay, so if we jump back here over to the Zirconia, which is the #1 top selling of all time red light laser device, you will see that its configuration is 2 diodes. So we have 3 with the illuminator. This has 2 diodes, and each diode is 7.5 milliwatts. You have read that right. All right, 7.5 milliwatts. Now, what wavelength did they decide to use? That's red. They decided to use 640 nanometers. Originally, there was a lot more research with 640. There's probably still a little bit more research with 640, but there is also a good amount also with 660. Basically, the long story short is that they have found over the years that if you are, there's not really much of a therapeutic output difference between 640 or 620 or 660 or any of that kind of stuff. If it's in if it's in a range like 15, 20, 30. Why? Because the fibroblasts and the different cytochrome C oxidase and all these different compounds that are sensitive or bioactive in the cells that are responsive to that light wavelength, they're responsive within a range of the wavelength. So don't be fooled, okay? You know, if a company's like, or whatever, like, it has to be 640 nanometers, and we, you know, have an FDA clearance, therefore, if you use the illuminator, you will get no results at all. And I mean, I'm actually not joking with you. So that's probably the pitch exactly that a sales rep from this company will give you, okay? So I've been reviewing, and I'm a distributor for many laser companies and light companies, so believe me, I know the pitch. And that is just not true. Why do they say all that stuff? Well, after they send you like 50 testimonials and case studies. And by the way, did you see our research? So they need to do all that because at the end of the day, you're going to be dropping a lot of money, right? A lot of money with this laser. So you kind of have to back it up, right? It needs a good sales pitch. Constant wave, continuous wave. That just means, is the laser pulsing rapidly? Is it turning on? I'm sorry. Constant wave means the laser is on the entire time. Pulsed means that it is turning on and off and on and off. It's usually so rapid you can't actually visually see it with your eye. But if you're wondering, the illuminator is a continuous watt laser or a constant wave. That's the other term. So they say continuous wave or constant wave. CW for short. That means it stays on the whole time. Generally, you want something that is a true continuous wave or constant wave laser. Okay, 20 user-defined memory channels. That means that if you had, like, you were treating somebody, you're treating yourself, you could save the settings, etc., up to 20 people. And by the way, I am just reviewing this laser because it's considered, like, you know, the leader in red light laser devices. But as we already saw, the illuminator puts out way more energy. It's like not even comparable, right? 180 milliwatts for the illuminator. When it does come to, so let's just back up here and finish that point. So when it comes to efficacy, okay, or therapeutic outcomes for a laser, a big part of why a laser can work more efficiently or work at a greater depth of penetration with less treatments is because of the power of that device, okay? It's the power, and that's a power density. So, you know, do all lasers work? Like, does this technically work? Yeah, it technically works. and they have studies showing it technically works. Lasers generally all work, okay? They all can trigger something in the body. But can you do better, especially for the price? Yes, is the short answer. Okay, that's why I would recommend an Illuminator. 7 preset protocol channels, depending on the model that you're picking from this company. That's basically going to be like, you know, pain or like, you know, whatever, like different settings that are, quote, pre-configured with their magical programs for whatever that condition is. Here's the long and the short of it. You don't really need any of that, okay? So there is a such thing as like dosing protocols that you can easily look up, by the way, online, that is prescribed or guided by the Laser Association, National Laser Association, whatever the hell it's called. The bottom line is this. The way that you use a laser is if you have a symptom in an area, you can treat exactly where you feel that symptom. The next place you want to treat is the area around, okay? And if you happen to know, just because you feel something in an area doesn't necessarily mean, unless you definitely know you were injured exactly in that area, okay? You had like an accident and you hit like your knee or something, okay? Well, obviously your knee is injured. But if you have a symptom in an area and you're not exactly sure like why you feel that symptom in an area, what that means is it may be the issue is right there, and you can certainly treat that issue right there on that spot, see if you get some relief. But if you did not injure that particular area, sometimes there's another area in your body that's connected to that area, okay? So sometimes you gotta like track down with the help of a practitioner, and they can tell you like, oh, well, the reason you're having, you know, a problem with your elbow or whatever, okay, is because of this other area of your body. And so if you just saw a practitioner that was skilled in that way, then they could say, oh, well, this is actually more the source of the issue. And then what you do is you would treat the source also. Does that make sense? So you're treating the localized symptom area and you're treating the source if appropriate, okay? And how long? Well, you can do 2 minutes like per section. Generally speaking, with a low-level laser like this, low-level power, you're going to want to, it depends on what the condition is. If you're on my team, I can specifically guide you in protocols and what you should do to get the minimum dosage protocols is the term for your specific health goal or health condition. Is basically the easiest answer I could give you. So you might be treating multiple times a day, you might be treating once a day. I mean, it all just really depends on what's going on, okay? Key here, FDA, so has not been evaluated by the FDA. So just to be clear, for the sake of the video, I'm not a doctor. This is not an FDA cleared laser. It is not an FDA cleared laser. Clearance simply means that a device has proven to get to be able to treat a specific condition. So like if you could get like an FDA laser clearance for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis with this device, that could be something the company would pursue. It is definitely not worth pursuing, okay, unless this company was like a laser company, right, and it was trying to compete with Arconia. Do you see what I'm saying? So just because it pursues a clearance for, let's say, rheumatoid arthritis, doesn't mean like suddenly now it works better because they got a clearance. Okay, it's still, you can still treat rheumatoid arthritis. It's just the clearance allows a company to do 2 things. They can make medical claims. That's the main reason. And sometimes, depending on the state, you can sometimes get things covered under insurance if you're a practitioner, okay? So sometimes they do clearances on the sake of the practitioner, the licensed practitioner, so they can make medical claims also. And sometimes you can also write prescriptions for certain treatments and things like that, okay? That's the main reason. But an FDA clearance doesn't technically mean like a device is more therapeutic per se than another device. So, and at the end of the day, like the reason this company would never want to do that, get an FDA clearance, another reason is because like if you're a QLA right now and you're trying to sell this device and you accidentally use the word like treatment, like I did in this video, then that's a no-no. You can slip up with one word, sell it to somebody, and have an FDA problem. It's literally that easy, and on a company level. So it's better to not just even kind of like play the game, so to say. It's also an expensive, long, arduous process that at the end of the day is going to make no damn difference if this thing works or not. So don't be fooled also by FDA approved. If you ever see devices out there, oh, we're FDA approved. Oh, we're so great. That means like our device works great. Has nothing to do with anything. If a device is FDA approved or FDA registered, all that means is that they just registered paperwork as a company to sell in the United States. Has nothing to do with the efficacy or how good a device is. Okay, end of story. So companies will get an FDA approval and use that in marketing to try to convince you, the customer, that somehow their device works better because they have an FDA approval. It's just paperwork. That's it. So they literally don't legally get in trouble, like selling a device and importing it or whatever. Okay. So just want to make all that clear. At the end of the day, if you want to know if a device works, you need to know two things for a laser. What's the nanometers and what's the power density, okay? Which is done in milliwatts per centimeter squared. That's the proper term for fluence rating, okay? That's all you need to know, those two things, at least for a low-level device, okay? If you wanted to get something that's like 40 grand from me, I might have a few more questions for you, okay? And I might educate you a little further. So right off the bat, you can say, well, Jesus, like, yeah, that Erconia was 2 diodes. We got 3. It was 7.5 milliwatts, and this is 180. Oh my God, you know what I mean? Like this thing is like rocking more powerful. Okay, if this company, if Solex existed like 25 plus years ago, and they came out with this device, when Erconia came out with theirs, oh my God, Solex would have just like crushed them. They would have crushed Erconia into the ground, and that company probably would have gone bankrupt. Like that's the reality of this situation. Now, after all this time goes by, though, anyways, you get the point. This is actually really, really great value. It's a hell of a deal. Even if that was $2,950, that would actually be a hell of a deal, believe it or not. Okay, so yeah, they've actually created something in a laser industry photobiomodulation category, which isn't even like kind of like even the main niche per se. Solex is a very versatile company, as you can see, and they just cranked out a really strong red light device. Is there another red light device that's stronger than this one? Yes, it is. I sell one that's 150 milliwatts, upwards of 1,000 milliwatts of red, if you want something like that. However, you're gonna have to be willing to shell out $5,650. Or depending on the model, it goes anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000. Okay, so in all seriousness, if actually you do want something like that includes near infrared as well in there, then you can just reach out to me and message me or whatever on my website below or in the comments. But you're going to pay for it, is my point. So so it's a really, really good value. So what else? The most important thing to know about using a laser is following the safety precautions. They do say if you Google laser safety goggles, if you plan to treat other people like on their face in different like cranial nerves and acupoints and get your skin to anti-age, which this is fantastic for, on the face, stuff like that, or on the eyes, make sure, and I'm telling you, that you wear safety goggles. Now, it's a pretty low power here, so it's relatively safe. However, if you got like contacts in your eyes and stuff like that, you just don't even want to take a chance. Just wear the safety laser goggles. You can order those online, shop around on eBay, try to find the lowest cost you can, and make sure you're wearing those glasses, or you put them on your client or patient or customer or prospect, if you're prospecting, when you're doing a demo. Now, this device, if you treat and you push it into the face, let's say you're testing it on somebody, not testing, but demoing, I should say, because you'd like to sell this device to them. If you really want them to see results with their face, skin changes the next day or the following day after that, or maybe with a skin condition or something like that, you can actually pull that off. Believe it or not, you can actually do that in one session. But I would err on the side of doing it longer to make sure you get those before and after results. So they're like, oh my God, I gotta get one of these. Make sure you treat that face probably, let me think about this for a second, 2, 4, 6, I would do like 6 minutes. So 2 minutes on the forehead, 2 minutes on the right side, rest of the face, 2 minutes on the left side. If you do it and you make sure it's touching the skin and it's pushed into the skin, you'll actually see results in that period of time. Red light is actually one of the better things for anti-aging and regenerating the skin. It's amazing for wounds, burns, all of the above, everything. The only thing that's a contraindication, about red light like this and lasers and stuff, including LEDs, is you don't want to treat skin cancer with this device. Okay, you do not want to treat skin cancer. And the reason is because this can help stimulate energy production and ATP, and you might just increase the speed of these cancer cells growing and getting energy. Okay, so if you have active skin cancer, something like that, do not use this. And always consult your doctor, right? So I think that's the only contraindication. Do not shine it in your eyeball. If you do want to get some eye health benefits in the capillaries around the eyes, all you have to do is close one eye. Just close your eye, look in a mirror, close the one eye, treat around the eye with the eye closed. So you're, in other words, you keep one eye open, then you're treating the eye with the lid closed. You can do it that way so you actually know where you're aiming, and then alternate, close the other eye, etc. You understand what I'm saying? So that is one way that you can do that. Yeah, if you're trying to get into areas that, like, if you wore protective eyewear, like, it would get in the way. Do you know what I'm saying? But never treat your eyes with your eye open, like if you're aiming it on the one eye. What else? If you are planning to use this for more like facial rejuvenation, skin rejuvenation, aesthetic as a practitioner or spa, I would suggest you get 2 of these because, like, in the course of a session, you'll be able to treat the face and the neck and things like that in half the time. Okay, and if you really want to get people those wow benefits where they're like, I really saw it after that one session, it was totally worth it, right? I paid $150 and, you know, he gave me all these great treatments. Just get 2 of them, honestly, because you're going to shave off like a fair amount of time. Or you can treat the face for longer, right? Because you have 2 of them, which is half the time, so you could double the time, right? So it's really like treating the face for 12 minutes, let's say, right? Does that make sense? Instead of 6 minutes. So the longer you treat with something, you don't really need to go, like, to be fair, so now if you're at home and you want all these amazing anti-skin benefits, which, by the way, red light historically outperforms any topical for anti-aging and skin rejuvenation. It performs any anti-topical. The only thing that's like really super similar is a form of retin A, tretinoin it's called, and that's a certain type of vitamin A. It's prescription, but you can buy it online now and do like an online prescription thing. You can contact me if you need any info on that. That, along with BHA and AHA, these are types of acids. Those actually are some of the most anti-aging things and can back out skin damage. But this is synergistic with any topical, majorly amplifies it. If you do this and the right couple things, I mean, you can literally take decades off your face in terms of skin, depending on how old you are, obviously, or make it appear like your skin is literally not anti-aging. You have to be consistent. I would say anywhere from like a minimum 3 days a week. Depends on, again, a lot of variables. Your diet, do you have leaky gut, inflammation? Do you have things that came up on your report scanned? Do you have food antigens, issues with certain foods you're eating on a daily basis? Do you get too much sun exposure? How pale is your skin? How dark is your skin? All these variables I can consult with you if you're on the team with me. I just do that for anybody that reaches out within my own team, and I can guide you on like what would be, again, the protocol for that. What else? Make sure you always clean the end of your device. And the reason you want to do that is because if you have smudges on there from, obviously, your skin will smudge it up. And it is not just for sanitary reasons, because you don't want to be smearing dirt all around your pores of your skin. especially if you're using it on your face, right? Is the other reason is those smudges will actually alter negatively. That'll change the ability for the laser to shine through it and stay focused, okay? So you want to maximize the focal point of that beam, so you don't want smudges on the lens, basically. Long story short, making sure I'm still recording here. 30 minutes, oh my God. But hopefully if you've been watching this, it's been really educational. Obviously, a lot of people don't get this level of depth in education from their uplines and or inside the company. But with my team, I am kind of an expert with wellness technologies. Before I ever was invited to come into Solex, the company. So I kind of have obviously a little bit of a forte. It's my area of specialty and line of work. So people get access to that wisdom and guidance inside of our Solex team. Anyways, so that's it on this device. Let me just think if I'm leaving anything else out. Nope, I think that is all. Again, if you are trying to encourage, here's a little marketing tip. If you are trying to build a business in this company, you obviously have a lot of great options right now in products. There's still even more amazing equipment and devices coming for you to be able to promote and offer and represent. But if you're looking at all the products that are available right now, one of the best ways to get somebody interested in this company and some of their products and curious and just to get them on board is you always want to give them a product that they definitely can feel or notice a difference immediately. This is a really, really important piece to know, okay? So in my personal opinion, one of the better niches or product categories to really get people excited and engaged is actually this device, this illuminator. And the reason is because people are really into looking young, right? Obviously. So everybody, they care about how they look, and they look in the mirror usually every day, right? You look in the mirror, right? So if you can, use this on somebody or let them borrow it for like just a couple days or whatever, right? You can get them to use it a little bit, and they see results. Then immediately they're gonna be like, yes, right? I want this thing, right? So that's immediately now they're getting involved, right? And you can start to show them other really fantastic, great products also. I'm probably gonna do a separate video that maybe just focuses a little bit on this topic, like what are in the sequence or order of ranking, like what devices or equipment are going to give are most dependable to give immediate or soon thereafter results, because again, those are a lot easier to sell, right? Obviously, we want to buy things, purchase things, invest things, look into things that we can actually feel or notice a difference. But some things, modality-wise, take a while, right? They take a while. So even with this laser, there will be some conditions that you have to use this on consistently over weeks of time, okay, to really get good results. And some things can be almost instant, the following or next day, okay? So that's why I'm saying beauty, skin health, okay, your face, neck, stuff like that, even a wound or an issue on skin, those things can be rapid. And so this might be a device that you want to, test or show or demo, okay, for people. And I'll make another video, you can look for it, that'll be like, ranking, Solex's products or something like that, whatever, however to be titled. So you can kind of like focus on promoting the ones that people notice the results quickest, and then once they come in and start to really love everything, then you can kind of introduce them to things that they have to be more consistent with over long periods of time. Obviously, the AO scan reports, those are instantaneous as well. But anyways, that's it for now. If you have any questions, just reach out.